Hey guys, welcome to drawing class. Today we're going to be focusing on a few things. One, we're going to be focusing on line, graphs, and shading. Now, graphs have been used in the art world for a very long time. The most popular era for graphs that they're known for is the Renaissance era, where they were used by famous artists like Leonardo da Vinci, as you guys have probably heard of him. And graphs are super useful. They allow us to take an image and scale it to a either larger or smaller image, but today in this case we are going to be focusing on scaling the image a little bit larger. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a reference paper like this that you'll have, and you will be given a blank grid such as this alongside it. This grid is slightly bigger than this one. You are not allowed to trace, otherwise there wouldn't be any point to this exercise. So today should be pretty simple. So what you're gonna do is over here, you're just gonna match the square up over here. So we're just gonna start with some of the more simple lines. So we're gonna take, we'll start with, we'll go A5. So we're gonna go over here, and this is A5 right here. So we're gonna go right here, go to A, over to 5, and this is where it's gonna be. So I'm looking at this, and it looks like this line intersects extremely close to the halfway point. So we're gonna come over here. That's about the halfway. It's slightly under it, so we're gonna start about right there, and it looks like it ends about right there, and it's a slight curve. So it's gonna be just like that. Okay, and then we'll move on to the next one, which will go A6 right here. So once you have your starting point, it's a lot easier to go. So that's about the same height, just slightly lower, and so we're gonna just connect those two. Very simple. And it's starting to go slightly down. So A7 starts there and goes about to the halfway point right there. And it's a pretty diagonal line. So it's gonna be just like that. Now you're gonna do that for every single square. Just pay attention to the lines you see. So don't focus on the shading right now. You're focusing on these hard lines like this right there. The edges of everything like this. And along the edges, just like that. So once you do all of that, you are going to then be able to trace your image onto a blank piece of paper, so your skull isn't covered with, these distracting graph lines. So you're going to trace it onto a blank sheet of paper. I have, for the sake of time, done one already. So once you have traced it over to your new piece of paper, and it looks all clean like this, this is where you are going to pay attention to the shading, and you're actually going to shade your image. So right in here, for example, in the eye, that's one of the darkest spots in the image, so we're actually just gonna darken that in, and I'm going quick just so you guys can get going on this. And looks like it comes in like this, just like that. Okay, now let's focus in right here on the side of the head. It's gonna be dark along the edge, just like this, and then it gets a little lighter. And as we've talked about before, about the different ways that you can shade, you can do it this way. You can do the hatching and cross hatching if you want, like this. But we are just gonna focus on this regular shading like this. Now you guys should have your shading tools. And I'm gonna just go ahead and blend this with my finger. Right, okay. And that's gonna give your image some form and some depth. So once you shade the entire image, you are done. So make sure you put your name on the back and the period that you're in, and go ahead and turn it into your box. Thanks for watching, guys.